Rachel, can you just tell them like a little bit about you and your business and Knox and like your whole life?
Of course. I love talking about my baby. So first, housekeeping on my note. My computer is really big and the camera is like way up here and it just feels so camera. So it's not going to look like I'm looking at you, but I really am. And so just for everyone, I always feel like I have to tell people that because I look like I'm looking down, but like I'm looking at Kat. So anyways, my life, wow. I started my business in 2015, but I didn't start it like not that there's a normal way, but I basically like quit my job and they were like, why are you quitting? And I was like, I want to start a business. So I literally had nothing. I like didn't even have a bank account. When I first started my business, I would have money in my husband and I's joint bank account. And then for some reason I didn't have access. So if I needed to like transfer something, I had to like text my husband and have him like, I did not have anything set in place. So when I say like 2015 was like my first year in business, but not really, it's because like I literally wasn't really doing much. I had no idea what I was doing. And I just spent like a lot of time just figuring things out. So that was in 2015. I quit my job in February of 2015. I kind of say February 1st is my birthday business anniversary. And that whole year was just spent like learning about business, dreaming about what I wanted my business to be like. I first thought I would do photography because that's like what I had the most experience in. I was second shooting weddings with one of our friends they're a couple and they're wedding photographers. And so I wanted to do that. And then I took a calligraphy course. And so I was like, oh, like make hand lettered prints. And my stuff was so bad. Like the only people that were my clients were like my mom and her friends and like my old high school
all
teachers.
Been there. I feel like we've all been there. Even like service-based. I'm like, my mom was the only one that read my blog for like the first like 3 months. It's fine.
Yeah, moms are the best. My mom's here right now watching the baby monitor. So I can do this. And so that was like year one. At the end of 2015, like December 1st, which is like not when you should be deciding to sell a product for Christmas, I was like, I think I want to make Christmas mugs. And so I did. One of my friends, she had like a vinyl maker and I don't even know what the correct term is. And she like made vinyl and I like made 12 mugs and I sold them. And then I was like, hey, I really like this product thing. And so early 2016, I created 2 more mugs and I like bought them in bulk and just continued to like decide I wanted to do products. And so that's kind of where the product-based business started, was like early 2016. And then I started like studying trends and seeing like, oh, people like launch things. And like, so 2016 was like learning about businesses. Hi, Jessica. Oh, thanks. And I was learning like, oh, I don't like design Christmas mugs in December. I like design them in like June and just learning like about business. And so that I say 2016 was like just figuring out more of like the nitty gritty of business and what it meant to own a product shop. And through that year, Instagram was like awesome then. It's not what it is now. And I did have good growth with my Instagram following, and I started to create like a tribe and just started to like get a lot of questions from people like, where do you make your mugs and how did you grow your Instagram and how do you style your photos? And so that's when I started to notice like, oh, maybe people like want to learn from me. And so early 2017, actually right after, I don't think you know this, but you had like a big role in me deciding to do like digital downloads. We were at the Together conference in Portland and I like had just decided to like switch to ConvertKit, which was how I wanted to like start building my email list. And I hosted an online challenge. And then that's when I launched my like first digital download. So then 2017 was a lot more of like splitting my time between education and products. And that's when I really started to focus on growing my list. And then in the middle of 2017, I had a baby. So that really changed things. And it's been so fun to like adjust to being a mompreneur and learning how to balance that and find time to work and find purpose in it. And so since like August until now, I've really focused on like what really matters in my business. And like email marketing has been one of the biggest ones where I've spent my time focusing on that because I don't have as much time. I used to work, like full time, and now max work 15 to 20 hours a week. But I've had my most like profitable and most growth since I had a baby. And I think it's like, I got focused. Like before it was like, I can work whenever. And
I love that.
Now that there's like demands on my time, like I have this 2-hour nap to work, I know exactly what I need to do. And I don't waste my time like designing a product that I'm never going to make because I just don't have time for that anymore. So, I feel like that was kind of a tangent.
No, I love that. And that should be we should do that for another coffee chat. Can we please do that like in the fall or something?
Yeah. Yes, you definitely need a baby. Babies are great.
Everyone needs a baby. Okay, that's awesome. That's super good to just get like a really great overview of all of the things that you're doing. And I'm sure everybody can now see and understand why I wanted you to come on today to talk about this, because you really have killed it with like the email marketing game, I feel like, in terms of being product based. And I love that, again, like I said before, you offer not only the tangible goods for those in the audience that are, in that boat, but you also now have the digital downloads. And there's so many people that are stepping into that world now and really trying to get a better handle on what that looks like in terms of email marketing. And you did mention this, but I'd like to just expand upon it for a minute for everyone. One of my questions for you was when you first started your list, and you said, I think it was like 2017 is when you really started to grow your list. So how did that process look like for you?
So I first started my list. It was like I had MailChimp, and I basically like pleaded with people to sign up. I was like, sign up for updates. And it was I think I was like a couple hundred people, and I was like a couple hundred, like I was so excited about that. And that's great if that's the amount of people on your list. That's really amazing. But for me, it was like friends and family. So, which I obviously don't have 300 friends and family, but so there were people that I didn't know personally, but it was just like, I started it more as like pep talks, because a big part of my business is like empowerment and encouragement for women. So that was like my draw of like, let me encourage you. And that's super great. And that worked for me, but it wasn't like, there was no conversions behind that. And so for me, that big shift for me was switching from MailChimp to ConvertKit and really focusing on email marketing as like a revenue source rather than just like, I just want to be your friend, which is super important. And that's a huge part of my business model. And it's helped me grow my tribe. But there had to be strategy behind it. And there had to be like reasons why I was doing it, and like a call to action also. Like I couldn't spend so much time like spending money. Like ConvertKit costs, even if you have like 0 subscribers. And so like I was like, if I'm going to spend $50 a month on this, like I need to make that money back. Like it needs to be worth it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with like, I'm totally a heartfelt business owner, but like I also need to make money. Like I have a family. If I'm spending 20 hours a week working, like I deserve to get paid. So my email list came from, I want to be your friend, I want to support you, and I want to encourage you. But then it also turned into, but if I'm going to spend time pouring into you and serving you, I also need to ask you for something.
Well, and I think that's a good balance. And we forget that because we either feel like we can't ask for the sale, like we feel like uncomfortable with it, or we're not quite as confident, or we feel like we're going to lose that connection point by asking for a sale. But I think if you are constantly only asking for a sale, then yes, like people don't like that. But if you have a balance of the two, you can absolutely build a heartfelt business, make that personal connection, have those pep talks, whatever it is that like fits your brand, but then ask them for something in return.
Totally. Yeah. I think I totally believe in serving your audience and I give away way more often than I ask for something. And I think that has built that trust relationship with my audience, because they know when I show up in their email inbox, it's not like, oh, buy this, click this. Like often it's just a story, or it's an encouragement, or it's like one of my most replies I ever got from an email, it was like I remember the subject line was like, what I'm afraid to tell you. And it was like a couple months ago and I was totally burnt out. And I'm like afraid to tell my audience that like I'm really tired and I don't know what to write in this email today. Like I don't know what to write, but I know it's Tuesday afternoon and I'm sending my email tomorrow and I got to send you an email. And like the most replies I've ever gotten on an email were from that. And it was just by showing up, still showing up, but being like, hey, I don't know what to do. And I know that you're probably in this place too. And obviously I offered some sort of encouragement or something. And yeah, like Laura, people connect with vulnerability. Like whenever I see business owners and I hear them tell me that like, oh, they had a product launch fail too, or that like they didn't get as much work done this week too. It's like this sigh of relief of like, I'm not the only one.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. In my welcome sequence, which for those of you that are new to like email marketing, you can, after somebody subscribes to your list, you can then have an automated system through ConvertKit. It's awesome. That walks them through a certain number of emails, just welcoming them into your brand. And I think mine is 5 emails long over the course of like a 10-day period. And I'm giving away content, right? I'm giving them like some of the best content. I'm also being vulnerable. And the one that I always get the most replies to, I think the subject line is something about what no one told me about comparison. And I get really vulnerable with opening up to them about my views on comparison and how it affected my life as a small business owner. Yeah. And it blows my mind. People care about that one more than like block scheduling and like Trello and time. People like they want to know like, oh, I am not alone. Like somebody else feels this way. So I love that. How do you, in terms of thinking about like kind of being vulnerable, right, and wanting to be heartfelt with the emails that we're sending, but also strategic, how do you find either that balance of the two, or how do you know like, okay, I can be vulnerable and share these things, and then I can also talk about the new mug or this new digital download that I have for them?
So something that I feel like I should say is I do have, so within ConvertKit, we're like preaching ConvertKit right now. It's so amazing. I'm not just saying that. Like it really, I grew my email list because of ConvertKit. You can tag people off of their interests. So basically like how they get on your list from this opt-in on your website or from this blog post or from purchasing something in your shop. You can tag them off of like certain genres. So I have basically two different like groups that I send to. So I send like 2 emails a week depending on the interest. So one is like the people who are interested in just like hearing from me and knowing about my products, like my mugs, those type of products. And then I have a group of people who are more interested in like the business content, like the business education, digital downloads. So I do have like 2 segments within my email marketing that I send to. And I didn't used to do that. I recently started doing that. And I feel like that's been really beneficial for me to have, because like my aunt was like getting emails about like how to like write a mission statement that converts. Like she doesn't care about that. Like she just wants to know when I have a new product. So that has been helpful for me. So back to what we were actually talking about. One thing that I do, so we'll talk about my physical products. So like mugs. One of my recently most popular emails that I sent it was titled like what the Target lady won't do. And I wrote about being a small business owner. And this is what I often do when I don't know what to write about. I fall back on telling my audience how much they mean to me. That the fact that they're on my email list, or the fact that they buy my products, and the fact that they support me, they follow me, and they like my photos is not like lost on me, because like that helps me buy diapers. It helps me go on trips with my family. It gives me the freedom to stay home with my son and be the primary caregiver. And people care about that. Like the reason people shop small is for those reasons. They don't want to support those big corporations, which like I love Target. Everyone knows that I love Target. So this email was all about like, I love Target, but like I also like really love the fact that you buy my products, because like I do a happy dance when I get that email in my inbox and that notification that someone ordered my new product. And like you don't see it.
Oh, did it cut out? Can you guys still hear me or her? Let me know. She froze. Okay, I'm still here. She froze. Okay. Oh, you're still here. Okay, let's just hold hold on, Rachel. I'll just close the video and then I'll re-invite you on. There must just be like a little glitch with it. So let me get you back in here. Let's see. It obviously didn't like us talking about Target, which I don't know why.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. Let me make sure everybody else can. I can. She's back. Yes. Okay, perfect. So yes, you're back. No, that's fine.
What was the last thing you guys heard?
Target. Like people prefer, like, yes, we love Target, but they love the connection point with you. And that's why they buy from small business owners.
Yeah. So basically, like, my email was all about, like, you can totally shop at Target, but like, you're changing my life. Like, every time you double tap a photo, every time you click purchase in my shop, every time you comment on my photos, like, you're impacting my life directly. And that means so much to me. That's not lost on me. And so at the same time, I'm also talking about my products, about like, and like, this is why I love this product. I created this product because I wanted to empower you or encourage you. And so I'm not always I'm not sending emails every week of like, buy this product, buy this product, buy this product. I do that. I do send emails with graphics of my photos of my products, but 3 out of 5 times there's like a story in the email, or there's like, did you know that I created this product at this time of my life when I was struggling with this thing, and this product came out of like this moment in my life. And so it's not just like, buy this, buy this, buy this. There's like purpose behind it, and there's stories, and there's like connection with it. And people, like, even though they might not want that, like, the psychology of selling, like, that connects with people, and that draws them in, and that makes them remember me.
Absolutely. No, I love that. And I think I remember that email, and it really is a perfect example of combining vulnerability with a sale in the exact same email without it being like a hard sell. You know what I mean? But you're talking about it enough and allowing them to see, okay, this is what this actually does for her, and this is what this product can also do for me. Like, you're kind of doing a little bit of both, which is awesome. Yeah.
Being able to say, like, this product fixes this problem you have in your life, or fills this need, but also at the same time, like, it matters to me, and like, know that like, I package these because I care about you, and know that this isn't just an Amazon warehouse pushing out these packages as fast as I can. Like, I have my baby strapped on my back sometimes when I'm pouring packaging peanuts into boxes, because like, that's because you allow me to be home, basically. Right.
I love that. So what, like, going back when you mentioned that when you first switched to ConvertKit, that's when you really upped your email marketing game, like on your end of like sending those emails and like having like that strategy behind it, but also on like the growth of those emails. Yeah. So is there like one tip, or like a group of, I don't want to just make you tell us one, if you're like, no, there's so many tips, like however many, or just one thing that you would say to a product-based business owner that can really help them get more people on their list to then be able to be vulnerable to start selling to, and, you know, really build and nurture that list.
Yeah. So I would say there's so many ways to grow your email list, but 2 for product-based that have been the most exponential for me. Like, I could show you, like, on ConvertKit, they have like with the home screen of like how many people join your list every day. And like, there's these skyrocketing moments for me. And it's either when I host an online challenge, which are typically focused more towards business education, but I have someone in my mastermind who is like, she's a hand letterer, and April was like hand lettering month, so you could do something different. But like, she hosted like an online challenge of like daily things to letter, and you could like totally do something like that if you're a product-based business, of like total, like, I know people who like do like a Valentine's Day lettering challenge. And so every day for 14 days or something, you send them a quote to hand letter, and they tag it on Instagram. The biggest growth for my business was when I did the Heartfelt Grid last year in March. And it was an Instagram challenge, and I basically sent prompts 5 days in a row about like what to post on Instagram and how to grow your Instagram feed in a heartfelt way. And that was the like exponential kickstart to me growing a tribe, to me growing people who listened to me and trusted me and like wanted to learn from me, and growing my email list. Like, it was the biggest.
Oh no, did it freeze again? It froze for me. Did it freeze for you guys? Let me know. Sorry, we're having little tech things today. Let me pop her back in, Rachel. I'm going to invite you back on, girl. Third time's the charm, maybe? We'll find out.
Are you there?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, I can totally hear you the whole time, so.
Okay, it's okay. I mean, I can just
hopefully it's not me.
Keep re-adding you. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
So really then for all of you guys out there, something to think about that I think is just really unique in what Rachel is saying is in a world right now where email marketing is like the new sexy thing, right? People are trying to grow their list because they want passive income, and they want to, be able to have that. Thinking about what is something that is really unique that you can do for your business that fits your brand, that fits either the product that is the end result, to get them to. And then of course, also that vulnerability aspect that you could do to have some sort of challenge, some sort of, opt-in or free, something that you can give that will then allow for a little bit of that skyrocketing to happen. To then help push you forward as you're continuing to nurture. So thinking through, what are some things that you guys can do that are just a little bit more unique. And not saying that, opt-ins aren't helpful. I have opt-ins floating around. I know Rachel does too. Like we all do, they'll like download this 1-page PDF or blank or, opt into this, but trying to also think outside of the box and whether it's like the specific topic that opt-in is just very unique, like BuzzFeed worthy, right? Like very unique to your specific audience and the brand that you're building and the product that you're leading them to, or some sort of challenge or some sort of more unique way that you can put out that information and really build up your people.
Yeah. A couple things that I want to say is like I posted on a Facebook group because I'm going to Italy and I needed a dress, and someone was like, oh, I sell dresses. And so like I clicked over to her website and like the first pop-up was like, join my newsletter. And for me, as someone who is a product-based business, but also as a consumer, I never enter my email when it says join our newsletter. Like, it's just like, I got too much stuff in my email inbox. Like my personal email literally has over 3,000 emails in it right now, unread. And like, that is not like, no, I do not need another newsletter. So just something to think about. Like, I hear people all the time of like, I started a newsletter, join. And like, that is not, I hate to break it to you, but like, that is not going to, people are not like, I've been waiting to join another newsletter.
Absolutely.
Like,
no, I think it's something that I've mentioned this before on here, but those people who will join, like those initial, like 100 or, like 25 or whatever, that's what we like to call like the low hanging fruit. Those are the people that are like, they love you so much that they're like, they're like ready to be picked. Like they're ready to, they will literally like, this sounds terrible, but like jump off the cliff if you did. Like they are like your people, which is great. Like we love those people. But what about the others? So just saying join my newsletter is only going to get that like bottom. That's not going to go as deep and wide as you want it to go for longevity purposes.
And typically those people are just people who want to hear from you and support you. Like
regardless
they're not
of what you say. Yeah.
They're not like your ideal client typically. Like they're your aunts and your uncles and your best friends that are not like the people that you're really grasping to get on your list.
Yes. Agreed.
So, when you have a pop-up, if you have a pop-up, it needs to be like something that really draws their attention. Like I know Ashlyn Carter, who is like an incredible copywriter, she has a pop-up and I was like, this girl has a pop-up, a copywriter? But it's like, it's so engaging what she says. I know it says
I love it.
I don't mean to get up all in your business, but like I totally read it every time. Even though I know what it says, I totally read it. And I'm already on her list, so like I don't need to continue to get on it. But like there's a strong call to action of like, let me help you with something. Give your email list and you're going to get this thing in return. So as product-based businesses, often that's like a discount code or first access or like a digital download. I don't think digital downloads are as enticing as much as they used to be, but like I always like 15% off my first order. Yep, sure. You can definitely have my email list or my email address.
Yes, I'm the same way. Yes. And I think something I thought about when you were talking, and then I feel like I lost my train of thought when you were talking. No, it's okay. When having that pop up, something that we all, I think we can all struggle with, whether it's the pop-up or even just some sort of call to action on your website about your newsletter, don't be afraid to be as specific as possible. Like speak to your ideal client. You do not just want to gather a large email list to gather a large email list. You want people on there who want to ultimately purchase from you, who want to read the content that you're sharing and who want to purchase, versus just every old person who comes and stumbles upon your website and enters in their email. So if you are service-based and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to start products now, I want to offer digital downloads and I'm going specifically for brides, then that pop-up needs to speak to brides. So when I go to your website, I'm not going to opt in, and that's okay because you don't want me on your list.
You're never going to buy.
Yeah, you don't want to pay for me in ConvertKit. You don't want any of that. I recently, which this is a whole nother tangent, and I'm actually going to do a coffee chat on it in the fall when I come back from maternity leave. But I just went through all my cold subscribers and deleted over 2,000 people off of my email list. And I wanted to cry a tiny little bit as I was like clicking delete in ConvertKit. But at the same time, those people are not purchasing from me. They're not engaged with what I'm sending. They are not my tribe. They are not my ideal client. So just like when you're growing any sort of social media platform, right? When we talk about our Instagram, the coveted K doesn't matter if those people aren't truly engaged. Same thing for your newsletter list. It doesn't matter. So really try to hone in on who is my newsletter for, and then you know exactly who you can speak to when you're writing. And I love how Rachel mentioned that she has in ConvertKit how you can tag separately. So she knows with her list who to send to. Who do I need to send to based on products? Who do I need to send to based on education? I do the same thing with Creative at Heart or with coaching. Like I know who I'm emailing so I can try to speak as directly to them as possible.
Right. Yeah, totally. And like your goal, like you don't want to be getting 15 unsubscribers every time you send an email. Like that's there's some, if that's happening, like there's probably something going on. And so you want to make sure that people know why they're on your list, how they got there, and like who you are frequently. Like that's another one of my tips is I typically like in my emails about business education, I'll be like, hey, just a reminder, this is our Wednesday weekly chat where I give you business content or like business tips. Often have like a silly story and maybe once in a while some bachelor commentary, like something like that, where it's just like, this is who I am. Don't forget about me.
Right.
Because there's plenty of times where I have had an email show up in my inbox and I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Yes.
And like click unsubscribe. So that's like another plug for welcome sequences. People are gathering content all the time. Like they could be finding you from Pinterest, but they don't like, often we think like, oh, if you're getting on my email list, it's because you follow me on Instagram, you're a close follower of my website. And like, of course you know who I am. But if you're doing Pinterest, people like I will get things, I'll sign up for things. And then that person shows up in my email inbox a week later. And I'm like, I don't know how you got here. And They didn't have a welcome sequence set up to like teach me about them and who they are and what they're about. And that's really important. Even if you're a product-based business and you're selling mugs, like you want to remind people why you're making mugs, the purpose behind it, what you do in your free time, what your brand is all about, stuff like that. Like that's, I mean, email inboxes are so crowded. And so you want to make sure that people are excited every time your email shows up in their inbox.
Yes. And it's so easy. Like you said, we forget too. Like we sign up for things because we stumbled upon it on Pinterest or we want that 15% off that initial purchase, whatever it might be. And then if the email's not for a week or two after that, like the next one, we're going to forget. Like we naturally just forget. So trying to really make sure that your tribe knows you, like the people on your list know you, and they aren't, don't feel like it's conceited to talk about yourself and to talk about the products that you offer because they probably don't know. They don't know your business the way that you know your business. And we tend to forget that when it comes to marketing our business.
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to say that we got totally sidetracked from. I was saying the 2 ways my list has grown.
Yes.
So one was more like business education wise for the Heartfelt Grid and online challenges I've done. And then recently, so I did not host it, so I don't have content and information about the how-to of this, but I participated in a giveaway. And it was like this special kind of software where like we gathered email addresses. And so I had like almost 800 new people come through that giveaway. I added them into my ConvertKit. I tagged them. And instead of automatically adding them to my segment of product interested people, because typically if they entered a giveaway to win one of my products, they would then be segmented in my interested in products. So I sent all those 800 people an email, and it was like, hi, I'm Rachel. Have we met? And I laid out this whole email about who I am, what my products are about, how they got on my list. Like, you entered this giveaway, so I'm assuming you're a mama, and you are in, because it was a mama giveaway. Anyways, and I knew I was going to get a lot of unsubscribers, and like that was okay with me because I did not want to be paying for these people on my list, because I enter giveaways knowing that I'm going to unsubscribe. So at the end of the email, I was like, I know that I've done this before, so no hard feelings if you choose to click unsubscribe. Yeah, it's painful when you see like people unsubscribing after you've just like laid out your heart and sent them a picture of you and your baby. Like, ouch, that hurts.
Right.
But I didn't want this on my list.
Right.
Like, I'm going to be paying for them because I literally pay for every single person. So that's something that you can do too. If you do have like a big influx of subscribers, this is kind of like the welcome sequence thing, but this was even just one email. And I even asked them to reply. I was like, tell me about yourself. And I got so many replies. And a lot of people were like, I'm so refreshed that you just sent me an email to introduce yourself and you weren't trying to sell me anything. Like, you just wanted to tell me more about your shop, more about your life. And like, that was like really refreshing to me. And I bet I've then created a really strong relationship with them where they are way more invested in purchasing from me. And that was just like one email. So I'm happy if people are interested and they want to see like what I wrote in that email, if that would be helpful, I'm totally cool for you to like copy paste and switch around what you would say if that helps you learn how to like welcome new people into your list. Because it was really helpful for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. I also popped in, she has a great blog post, 5 steps to kickstart your email marketing. So that's down here too, guys, for you guys to pop over and take a look at. I wanted to address this because we've talked a lot about like nurturing in terms of like giving that content, right? And you really being vulnerable and kind of combining the two. But what, or do you have a rule of thumb, or how do you kind of balance the non-selly emails? Of course, in that initial that welcome email, you're not going to hard sell immediately. But when do you ask for the hard sell? How long do you wait and walk them through more vulnerable or like free stuff before saying, oh, here's my mug, or here's this digital download that you should purchase?
Yeah, that's great. I would say like, if I was going to pick a number, it's going to be like every 1 out of 4 emails is going to be where I ask for a sell. But I definitely have like heavier sell periods. So like, I just hosted an online challenge, and it was all about like how to launch a new product or service. And then at the end of the challenge, I then offered this like new resource, super discounted price. And so I was sending emails to my list, to a smaller portion of the list. It wasn't everyone, like once or twice a day for several days. And so like, I'm now cooling it. Like, I'm not going to sell them anything for a while. I'm just going to like maybe take a week off. And then when I show up next time, it's going to be like, hey, how you doing? Just like a normal, not asking for anything email for a while. For product-based stuff with my actual products, I'm heavier on selling when I have a new launch or when I have a sale. So like, I don't have huge sales all the time, but if I'm like going to have a Mother's Day sale, then like, I'll definitely ask for the sale then. But my biggest ask for the sale is going to be when I have product launches. So I have like my Christmas, fall, summer, spring, and then like a winter. So typically 5 big product launches a year. Okay. And that's when I'm like the heaviest asking for sales.
Okay.
Between those, it's more just like, hey, thanks. Oh, I'm glad you like the launch. Like, thanks. It's going to be the in-between are going to be more like what I was talking about. Like, this is what my shop is about. This is my son, that kind of stuff. With like, oh, P.S. I had this blog post about like how to style a gallery wall. And then within that blog post, there's a like, if you need prints for your gallery wall, here's an option.
Here you go.
So there's like multiple levels. So there's definitely still a sell in there if they click over to that blog post, but it's not like, hey, I have this huge product launch. My next email is, hey, you should make a gallery wall. Here's prints for it. Like, it's not as in your face, but I'm still in their mind of like, I have something for you if you need it.
Absolutely. Well, and you do a great job with that, even on your Instagram. Lauren Carnes and I actually talked about you and Jessica from Simply Jessica Marie back in the very first coffee chat in February. Lauren came on and we talked about how to sell, like how to really like boldly ask for the sale. And we talked about how you and Jessica both with products do a great job of, I'm constantly seeing your products, even if the caption is, it's just about coffee, but it's one of your mugs. Or it's like you and your son and it's, you know, I can see like the print in the background on the wall. Like I'm constantly seeing them all the time. So I know like, oh yeah, Rachel has that one and I really want to go get it. Even though you might not always be saying in the caption, 20% off or like buy now. And so that's just really good marketing in general for anybody with products. And that's something that I actually do a terrible job at with even my digital downloads. I don't talk about them enough. Like I need to make it more of a priority to put those in like a regular rotation in my marketing so that it's not just like, oh, PS 20% off over here and you're talking about them more. So that's just a really good strategy that I feel like you do well.
Well, and also digital downloads, like same thing. I don't talk about my digital downloads enough. It's like, it's harder to talk about products because I can take a picture of my products, like what you're saying, which is great for this webinar. We're talking about products. So like your photo should always be having your products in them, even if they're in the background, because you want to be in people's minds that they have products.
Yes.
So like same thing for digital download. It's hard to like post a picture of your digital download and be like, hey, did you know this? Did you like, I saw digital downloads. Like that is definitely something that's more complicated. But the great thing about hopefully these people watching is a lot of them are product-based businesses. And so you can, without asking for the sale, continue to be on people's minds that you have a product. So even if I send an email to my product group in my ConvertKit, maybe I'll have a photo of a product in there, but I'm not asking for a sell, you know?
Yeah,
but
I love
that constant of like be in their mind that you have a product.
Right. And what's really helpful for those of you guys out there thinking through how you're going to balance the strategy with the vulnerability is thinking like Rachel knows she knows right now, okay, I have 5 main product launches a year. So this is when I'm hard selling. Go ahead and put that on the calendar, right? I know like these blocks of time for these 5 seasons are going to be the hard sell. So now how can I space other things out in between those 5? So that's where the strategy comes into place of planning ahead, knowing when you're planning to launch certain things, and then what you can share on that in-between time that allows you to nurture, to build, to give them, and then knowing the hard sell is coming, but also not feeling like, oh, I'm just frequently hard selling.
Right.
Like I'm just selling them something every single week, and then people are going to unsubscribe. I mean, we hate when we get those.
Oh, yeah. And I think with product-based people, it's often like, oh, I haven't sold something in 2 days. Okay, well, I guess I'll send an email. And there is no strategy behind that. And so it could take time. Like it could take a year for you to like get that launch strategy put in place, to get that ebbing and flowing of like, this is when I sell, this is when I don't sell. But like spending that time creating that strategy is going to be really helpful for you in the long run to know that like, I don't need to push this product today because I have my hard sell coming up in 2 weeks. And like, that's when I'm going to push my email list. So until then, I'm nurturing them. I'm like priming them for that moment when it's kind of like, okay, buy from me.
Absolutely. I love that. I had another question, but guys, if you guys have questions, please feel free to pop them in. We typically end these definitely by 2:00 Eastern time, just because I know life is busy, right? All the things are going on. So we want to make sure we answer any questions. So if y'all have thought of anything, please pop them in. And Rachel, I do have one more that I wanted to ask for sure while we're kind of waiting on that. So this is something that, and you mentioned it before with even like we do ourselves. And you even, I think you mentioned that you do it on your website of giving like 15% off for that initial subscription, to get that person onto your list, or like exclusive access, or kind of promoting like you'll be the very first to hear. Like we do that with Creative at Heart. Like our list is the first to hear about the conference, like registration opening before like the public. Do you find that that's a good strategy, or do you feel like people will then just like hop on and hop off your list because they want that 15% off and now they're gone? Or how do you balance like, okay, well, they popped on because they wanted 15% off, but now I am going to be emailing them regularly, not just, yes, it's product because you tag them product, but you're sharing more than just products. How do you kind of balance that?
I personally think it is great to create this mindset and culture of like, you're my special people. So that like exclusive access, get this download or get this percent off. I think it's beneficial. If anything, try it. I mean, like if you haven't started anything, the only thing you can try and do is to start trying it. Only thing you can start doing is to start trying things. So I would say for me, I do have that like initial, like get on the list for this access, but then I continually remind them that like, so I have a summer launch coming in like 2 weeks. So my next email to them, I'll be saying to my email list, like, P.S. summer launch is coming in 2 weeks. Just so you know, you'll be the first ones to hear about our launch discounts. Because every time I launch a product, I have like super great discounts that are for a really short amount of time and only for like a limited amount of people. So for example, I'll just totally let you in on the back end. For my summer launch, in like the first day of launch, like the first order is going to get 50% off. The next order is going to get 40% off. Then the next 3 orders will get 30% off. You see like where this is going.
Yeah.
So my list is going to be the first people to hear of the discount codes. Several hours later, then I will be posting about it on social media, which means that like the people on my list are going to be those people who get 50 and 40 and 30% off.
Right.
So then what I'll do on my Instagram stories is say like, hey, just so you know, I'm launching something in a couple weeks and I'm going to have really big discounts, but my email list is going to be the first ones to know, and they will be gone by the time I announce it anywhere else. So that is like incentive for people to get on. That's incentive for people to open up your emails.
I love that.
Now you like have them, they trust you, and like, you can continue to remind them like, okay, our fall launch is going to be in August. So just know that like this is going to happen again. So like you should probably stay on the list.
Right.
So, stuff like that where it's like, you're really important to me and like you get my most like important sales. And often I'll have like short weekend flash sales that only my email list knows about.
I love it.
Like reminding them like, just so you know, like I have flash sales every once in a while. They're totally surprises, but only my email list knows about them. That's going to create that like feeling of like, I have to be a part of this or else I'm really going to miss out.
I think that's so wise. And I think something that you mentioned that we often forget to do is making sure that you're telling your list. And what I mean by that is like almost like telling them the plan. Like you're saying like, oh yeah, did you miss out on a discount for this summer one? Hey, stick around. I'm going to be doing something similar in August for the fall launch. Like you're making them aware, letting them know, and people like that will start to stick into their brain. And they'll be excited to stay around because they want what's coming. Right. So don't be afraid to like reveal things to your list so that they stick around.
Yeah. And just like some strategy that popped into my head that like, hopefully, so for me, like my summer launch, the first person that gets their 50% off, like hopefully they'll like maybe post something about it in their story of like, oh my gosh, I got 50% off the new products. Like screenshot that, share it in your story of like, look how excited this person is. Like the more you can like create this like special treatment with people on your list and then showcase that to everyone else is like, wait, how did I miss out on 50% off?
Right.
Wow, I need to get on her list because that's a huge discount.
I love that. Social proof is so strategic.
Yeah. And that like mindset of like, oh my gosh, she's doing 50% off. She's probably not like making any revenue off of that order. But if I get 15 people on my list, even if it's just like 15 people, that's totally worth like one order that's 50% off.
Right. Right. And like you said, you're very strategic. You're not saying the entire list gets 50% off for this given period. You're saying, hey, scarcity, I'm going to give it to one person because that's still going to be really beneficial for that one person. It builds up urgency and makes people want to go there, but it's strategic for you as a business owner because you need to make a profit. So we can't afford to give every single person on the list 50% off.
But that's going to get people scrambling to the site to order to, you know.
Yeah, I love it. Great strategy. Awesome. Well, I haven't seen any other questions popped in. I know we covered like a ton of content around building your list. So I popped in Rachel's post there for you guys to take a look at. And I know that she would love to connect with you guys even more, answer like additional questions. If you're not already following her on Instagram and like on her newsletter list, you should go do all of those things right now. Rachel,
my list gets the best treatment.
Obviously. Let me pop in your website here, and then will you tell them your Instagram handle so that they can follow you?
My Instagram handle is @Rachel_Aline. And I just posted it there. I'd love to meet any of you. Even just like pop in my DMs, tell me about your business. I'll get on your list. I will totally be on anyone's list. I might not be your ideal client, but I would love to read your emails. I really am a good person. Like even if I don't, that sounds so weird. I'm a good person to have on your list.
I'm such a good person.
I open all of my friends' emails and read them who are entrepreneurs because I'm like, they need to get good click rates. Like I'm going to help them out.
Well, and I'm one of those people where it's like, I'm the like grandma, you know, that's like, I just want to know what's going on in their lives. So I want to read all of those emails. So
you might not want to pay for me because I will just be there to read your emails. But I also love like reading my friends' emails. And like, honestly, the more email lists I'm on, like I learn about email marketing because I like when I'm on like Megan Martin, for example, she recently did this thing and it was like, this whole email, and then it was like, be on the lookout for my email next week with this subject line. And like, you better believe I was in my email box on Monday morning clicking open her
waiting
email.
For that. Yep.
So like, I learn about email marketing by being on other people's lists.
So good. So smart. The best. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was just so refreshing to hear from you and to talk a little bit more on like just the product side of things. I learned a lot, and I hope everybody else did. And guys, please be sure to like click over to Rachel's 5 steps to kickstart your email marketing. It's great. And then also there's her website and her Instagram in the chat too.
Yeah, it was so fun. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad. I'm seriously so glad. Sorry about the tech stuff, but hey, third time's the charm apparently.
Sorry. I hope it wasn't me.
No, totally fine. Awesome. Well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. West Coast over there with all of
just getting started.
So awesome. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're checking the replay right now, thank you for watching the replay. We're grateful for y'all, and we hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day.
Yep.
Awesome. Bye, guys. Bye.